We are live. We are also direct with Erica Frenkel, who is a national board certified and functional medicine certified coach, helping women with busy and hectic lives take care of their health, potentially struggling with perimenopausal symptoms, lean into more energy, sleep, mental clarity, weight loss to perform better and to be more present with their families. She has a unique blend of functional medicine personalization and behavior change and accountability to make sure that health concerns are addressed holistically and nutrition is intentional in order to reach health goals. Welcome to She Leads, She Sells. Erica Frenkel in the building. Speak to me, sister.
Wow, I feel like I'm like running out onto a basketball court. That's an amazing introduction. Thank you, Jay. I am psyched to be here.
100%. Let me know, who is the main type of person you work with? I know menopausal starts at the average age at 51 years old. I hear in the United States, 51 is the average age.
That's for menopause. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you work perimenopause before or like menopause? Yeah. Who do you work with mainly?
Yeah. So I work with women generally kind of 35 to 55. They are perimenopausal, or so they think. Whether they know that or not doesn't matter, but they are generally feeling like they're not themselves anymore. They sort of wake up achy. The playbook has changed. Everything they used to do to keep themselves energized and fit is now not working. And they say, I haven't changed anything. And that's part of the problem. We do need to change all of our core habits, which sounds much more daunting than it needs to, but we end up needing to change the playbook as we get older. And I work with them to understand what that playbook needs to look like and why it will help them feel better.
Amazing. And give me some sorts of results that you've got for your people. I know you're an experienced practitioner, but what types of results have you got for your people?
Yeah, absolutely. So we see them often, women in perimenopause, because of some of the hormonal shifts, will be waking up at 3 a.m. I see them now sleeping through the night. We see achy joints kind of disappearing. We see folks feeling a lot more mental clarity. We hear a lot about brain fog as a symptom. When they start working with me, they're understanding kind of some of the drivers of that and how to balance their hormones. We see some of the more mental clarity. And I think one of the most exciting things for me is that what feeling better starts to allow is a deeper introspection on kind of who she wants to become. I had a coach once tell me that at this phase in life, the goddess can come out if only you can be quiet enough to listen to her. And when there's noise from pain, from stress, from kids, from aging parents, it's very hard to listen to her. But once you get your own body under control, you start thinking about, what is my purpose? How do I align with it? And how do I make everything in my life kind of fit within that purpose?
Amazing. Erica, I love your embodiment. You're in amazing shape, can I say? You're in amazing shape.
Thank
I love
you.
the arms.
Thank you. Working on my strength and my muscle and my bone density.
Amazing. Do you use labs as part of your process? Labs?
Labs. I do have a lab partner. Yes. So some of my clients want to do that as they're testing kind of their metabolic health, their nutritional health, but the core of my work requires no labs.
She leads, she sells. We have to talk about the core here,
Yeah.
which is visibility. Like they say that public speaking is number one next to death in terms of fear. So people have the fear of getting visible. Let me know, how do you get visible so your tribe see you?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I feel, I don't know if it's blessed, lucky, or somehow I love speaking to people. I love speaking in public. I've given a TEDx talk with 1,000 people on the stage. I've given a number of workshops with hundreds of people in the room. So um, for me, social media is a necessary evil, but I feel unseen and unheard there. I don't feel like I find my people there, and they're not necessarily finding me. Um, when I get in front of people live, whether virtually or in person, the connection can happen a lot more easily. I feel a lot more authentic. And so the way I've sort of worked to get my visibility out there and connect with the people who become my clients is for them just to sort of see themselves in me and what I'm talking about. I don't have to have lived through everything they're living through, but to know that I have worked with folks across the spectrum and I create an entirely judgment-free accompaniment for them with the background I have in helping them make some of those changes.
Love what you state there. And yeah, you clearly are a very accomplished speaker, very natural and, very giving. And I think we're similar in terms of social media. For me, it's not
Hmm.
something that I love in terms of social media, but without social media, maybe me and you don't connect.
Right.
And so what a blessing it allows me to connect with wonderful experts like you shining.
Likewise. Yeah. That's why I call it a necessary evil. I've had so many wonderful things come from it, but I don't speak the language naturally. I don't have a visual plan in my head for how to represent myself. And so someday when I have my major enormous company and I can have somebody do it for me or help walk me through it, that'll be the plan. But until then, I do what I need to on social media and really make sure I get out in front of folks. I'm going to a networking event tonight where I'm giving a talk.
Great. Selling. I think that's what we need to speak about, because if
Mm,
we don't sell, we can't forward our mission. We can't continue to do our great work. For me, have you read, have you read this particular book here, Erica?
I have not.
Yeah.
10x is easier than 2x.
10x is easier than 2x is basically a saying if we aim for 10x, we hit 2x by accident. And so
Yeah.
if we aim for 2x, we probably won't get there. So it's finding 10x. And so for me, sales is adding 10x value
Yeah.
in the process of giving identity shifts, giving insights, personalization,
Yeah.
rather than a sales call script. That's what sales is to me.
Yeah.
What does sales mean to yourself? How are you converting your sales? Like, how are you enrolling your clients?
Yeah. For me, the nuts and bolts is that I get on a call with them face to face and go deep and understand where they want to get to. I have worked with folks with just about every complaint that people come to me, including I don't even know what's wrong, right? And I help them kind of sift through that. Um, Coaching is something you don't sell because you describe it. Nobody really knows what coaching is. Coaching is something you sell because they experience it. And so that's a lot of how I end up um, being blessed with someone to convert to a client, right? So for me, the real value that I think I provide folks is that they have often, and this is in our health system in the US, the sort of core complaint I hear is everybody tells me my labs are normal, but I still feel like crap. And once that's the case at the doctor's office, there's nothing more they can do. But when they talk to me and I start to walk them through the ways that I work with folks and the outcomes that they can expect, it's a pretty clear straight line. I finally feel heard, I finally feel hope, and I finally see how I can make sense of all of this scattered information that I've been given. So if I can make somebody feel heard, hopeful, and clear, the conversation converts itself.
You're really leaning into sales 101. In fact, I spent maybe the last year getting together this book on selling. And what you've just said is basically a microcosm of what
Mm.
I found maybe speaking with 300 women, that sales is really about people being seen and heard, especially in this world of AI, especially in this world of lack of connection and people sending WhatsApp messages and that lack of real authenticity.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's that's what comes naturally when I have a real, I've had jobs where I have to sell with a quota, and those kinds of things does not come as naturally to me. And I think for me, the authenticity of having living currently through a lot of what my clients are living through. I had a coach explain to me, like, they want someone who's 1 or 2 steps ahead, not necessarily 10 steps ahead. Right. And so for me, that may be unintentionally, I don't want to be dealing with the same pains and discomfort that they are, but it may be unintentionally my best tactic, which is, I see you because I am you.
Amazing. What's the biggest challenge for you scaling, growing, being visible? What's your challenge right now?
Well, it goes back to my biggest strength, which is I like being in front of people. When I'm in front of people, I can often garner people's, get to the point where I'm looking at sales.
Yeah.
I'm one person, so I can't do that constantly. And I have 2 small kids, and a lot of the opportunities are in the evenings. And so, for me, it's, to use the sales terminology, it's kind of keeping that top of the funnel full. Uh, and that is something that I'm working on, and I have some processes for. But that becomes a big challenge it becomes the challenge to then obviously yielding the clients that I want to be working with.
Hmm. What strikes me about you is your incredible self-awareness.
I'm sorry?
Brilliant. You're incredible. You got incredible self-awareness.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's something that I work hard on. I think that's important to lead with that.
It shows me that you're a world-class coach.
That's the goal.
How would you like to be remembered when it's all said and done?
Ugh. The word that comes to mind is kindness. She showed me kindness. She exuded kindness. She demanded kindness to her. And kindness doesn't mean being nice. Kindness means helping and being present and treating everybody with absolute high esteem, no matter what, until they prove that they don't deserve it. So for me, that's, with my clients, I want them to know that I hold them in the highest regard, and whatever they're saying is part of their story that I feel honored that they're comfortable sharing with me, and that I am going to be there for them to get them to the other side. And that might include some tough love. It might include some uncomfortable conversations, but it is always done with kindness.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I know on my journey, a book recently that's helped me to let go and to really just step into my authentic self is this one, Let Them.
Yeah. Right.
In fact, I've been meeting some people who have a Let Them tattoo, actually.
Oh,
Let them,
wow.
and things like this. So it's like, stop worrying about what people are going to say, or if they're going to say no, or how you look. Let them. It's been extraordinarily liberating
Mm.
over the last few months. How about for us, what book or concept or podcast is helping you with your personal development journey?
What a great question. There's 2 of them, and I'm going to forget. I think one is called The Prosperous Coach by
Yes.
Steve Chandler.
Yes.
And
Good.
it's what has given me, it's sort of like the slow service-based approach to coaching. And that's why when I talk about selling and getting clients, that terminology is something he kind of throws out the window. And he talks about creating clients. And I think that's really powerful. So that's one that has really lit me up. The other is a book not about coaching, but just called Crucial Conversations.
Okay.
And it's one of the best books I've ever read about how to have crucial conversations, important conversations, and whether that's with a spouse or a client or a boss or a direct report. That may come back to this concept around kindness, which is there's nothing kind about being mealy-mouthed or speaking out of both sides of your mouth or avoiding a conversation. It's easier, but it's not kind. And so this is a book about how to face that fear and do it in a way that preserves the relationship in whatever dynamic that is.
Choices there.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
exactly.
think the Prosperous Coach is something that's helped me and guided me in terms of everyone talks about, hey, write a piece of content, sign the client, or
Yeah.
one call close, da 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 da. But for me, there's a slight distinction between promise and proof.
Mm.
And by being able to demonstrate proof,
Yeah.
it puts you in a category of one,
Yeah.
because most people are promising, hey, let's wait until onboarding. Let's wait until the first call.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go through that on the program. And that's probably why this coaching space has got the rep that it is, because so many people have promised rather than provide proof. And, I think you're a living testimony of someone who goes deep in her work.
Yeah. That's the idea, is that, and what I talk about with this idea that coaching doesn't sell itself by being described, I think I actually might have gotten that concept from him. And I'll often do some mini sessions. The other thing that in that book that really stood out to me was he talks about, I think he called it like the telephone pole analogy, where if somebody went out each night and talked to a telephone pole about what went well that day, what they could have done differently, how they want to show up tomorrow, it would be tremendously beneficial. And you are not a telephone pole. You are providing infinitely more value than a telephone pole. So thinking about yourself in the coaching role as somebody who can provide that value that the person is seeking, to a space that the person is seeking to figure these things out, it helps remember that even if you feel like an imposter, you're presenting and providing in a tremendous benefit to your clients.
What a pleasure, Erica, to share this space
Likewise.
with
I
you.
like that we color coordinated too.
Him and hers, of
That's
course.
right.
Yeah. Let them know, how can they get in contact with you, and who
Yeah.
are you looking for?
So my website, ericafrenkel.com, you can see my name there at the bottom. You can write to me that way. I'm on Instagram at Erica Frenkel, Facebook likewise. And really just want to talk to folks who are curious, who are eager to make some changes and want someone to walk alongside them.
Amazing. One last golden nugget for the people.
Eat a lot of protein before 10 a.m., 30 grams of protein before 10 a.m., and your day will turn around.
Erica, E, elegant. R, radiant. I, intelligent. C, charismatic. A, action taker.
Love it.
God bless. She sells me out. Erica in the building, and we are out.